Good morning. Good.
And finally, new rule, nothing with crypto in the title ever turns out good.
Don't write me about Bitcoin, please. I don't give a f***. So don't ask me.
Bitcoin happens to use a lot of energy. It happens to promote anonymous transactions.
Bitcoin is not a currency.
Not bullish on Bitcoin.
You, John McAfee, believe in the power of Bitcoin. So much so that you'll put your on the table, chop it up, put it in your mouth, swallow.
If it doesn't reach at least $1 million.
99.999% of the people that own Bitcoin are f***ing morons. That's just it.
What's it feel like to be a Bitcoin?
I don't have any Bitcoin.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the GM show. Happy Monday. I'm one of your hosts, Freeman, and I can't hear Matt because I have him muted.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe that was on purpose.
Good morning.
Oh, I had myself muted too, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're really quiet, like you're whispering.
Good morning. Welcome to the GM show. Just pretend like the first 5 seconds didn't exist. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Happy Monday. I'm Freeman. My co-host here is Matthew Jones, and we are here to bring you the crypto headlines, banter, and technical analysis for today. And how was your weekend, Jones? How was your weekend? Was it good?
It was good. It was pretty quiet.
I'm not trolling you right now, so seriously,
it was good.
Sincerely,
it was decent. It was good. How was yours?
It was decently good, sincerely as well. It was good. Just did house stuff for the most part. And watched Twitter melt down over the phishing attack over at OpenSea. This past weekend, there was kind of this phishing attack that seemed to affect a lot of people. Everybody was unsure whether this was some kind of widespread hack that it was affecting a bunch of people's accounts, or if this was just a couple accounts. And it sounds like this was a pretty targeted attack where it's a pretty standard phishing attack where someone sent out an OpenSea-esque email, looked very official, and it was saying that you need to now migrate your Ethereum listings to a new smart contract.
I have that email. I got that email.
I probably did too then. I haven't checked. I haven't looked.
I was actually just looking at it this morning. I was like, yeah, I'll look at it later. Now I know it's a
yeah, this is, you don't get your NFT stolen, bro.
Oh shit.
So yeah, it was they go to they sign a transaction to migrate or to transfer all their NFTs over to this other person. So it was a pretty sneaky attack, and apparently a lot of people got totally drained of some really good tokens, NFTs. So that's funny.
How funny. All
so
right,
it says 32 users were affected. So it wasn't that a lot actually clicked it. It looks like, but some of the stolen NFTs have been returned too. As far as we can tell, this is a phishing attack. We don't believe it's connected to the OpenSea website. Appears 32 users thus far have signed a malicious payload from an attacker. Some of their NFTs were stolen. So very weird. Very weird.
I'm interested. I'm trying to find that email now. I'm like, what? It just had it up too. Yeah. Whatever. Oh yeah, here it is. I found it.
Here, you should put it on your screen.
All right. So this is what I got.
Oh man. And so click on the where it says to me on the top left. No.
I'm not clicking.
Click on get started just to see what happened. You're not gonna just don't sign anything.
No.
Just click it.
What?
Click it.
No.
Click it.
I'm not.
Click it.
No.
Just click it. Open it in a new tab, in a private tab.
No,
Your MetaMask isn't even connected to your private tab.
I don't care. I don't want to click on it, dude.
Gosh, I wish we had a big audience so they could all bully you in the chat into clicking on
Here,
it.
why don't I just forward it to you and you go fucking
Okay.
click on it?
Maybe I will.
There you go.
Well, this is very interesting. What I wanted to see is actually go back up. Go back up.
No, I'm forwarding this to you.
Oh God. Oh, this is fine because now I can see. It's really weird because it says team at OpenCIO is the email, which is clearly not the case. So they did a good job at disguising the from, which is not necessarily hard. You can disguise the from pretty easily.
I'll forward it to you later, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
anyways,
pretty funny. Whoa.
Sketch.
Wow. So sketchiness for sure. And that was a pretty sneaky little attack, gotta say. Let's get back over to my screen. And I was wondering, Matt, if you are either the one behind this or a part of this DAO that's trying to buy the Denver Broncos for $4 billion.
That is genius. I was actually thinking, I did think about this because I know that, like,
probably for the Avs or something.
The Broncos. No, because the Broncos, right? I just heard of, like, a few weeks ago, the court cleared the sale for it, right? That it could be sold and whatnot. And I was just like, how cool would it be if the public owned it? You know what I mean? Like kind of like the Green Bay Packers, right? They're like publicly owned.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a cool idea. And I was like, I bet you could turn into a DAO. And here
Sure
you go.
enough. Buy the Broncos DAO.
Because you can, if you pay
rallying to
enough,
get funds,
you can say, oh, you have X amount of executive decision making and shit like that. Like, think about it. I mean, like, yeah, if someone's like, hey, these are candidate coaches or like candidates for potential coaches or quarterbacks or something. I mean, how crazy is that? Like, you put that much control to the fans.
I think you and the founder of this DAO would be good friends. He says, we know it sounds a bit crazy, but it's also a bit badass. That's what he told CNBC.
Yeah. It's really
we should just start a DAO for something and we can get on CNBC. Let's just make a DAO to buy the moon.
Freeman, I have an idea. We'll talk about it after the show.
Let's buy Greenland.
We're gonna have
buy
a chat
Greenland
about this after the show. We're gonna have
We're
a chat
buying
about
Greenland.
This. We're gonna have
Greenland
a chat
DAO.
about this after the show.
Why can't we just buy Greenland, bro? Come on.
We can't just buy Greenland.
Okay.
You can't just buy. What is it? You think you're like Donald Trump? Just like, I'm just gonna go buy Greenland. Like, come on. You're not that guy, dude. You're not that guy.
Okay, so what are we gonna buy? Tell me now.
Dude, we'll talk about a DAO. I have an idea for a DAO.
Buy a yacht DAO.
Buy a yacht DAO. That's kind of cool. Isn't that like basic? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could do something like that.
Okay. Oh boy, my screen just went. So that's very interesting either way. It just shows, like, I think using DAOs as fundraising mechanisms is actually pretty genius. And somebody who's I don't know who, but should make a website where you can just set up a DAO that allows you to collect money for fundraising.
I like the idea of like building communities, like there's a couple different island projects out there, those kind of things. Like, for me with like kids and everything, way too like life disturbing. I can't do that, and my kids play hockey and stuff. It's like we can't go to a tropical island and still play hockey and whatnot. Anyway, but I was just thinking, like, if you had like just like a simpler idea of like a really cool neighborhood, layout and like really cool housing and everything, and if you build a really cool community, nothing like crazy like a private island or
you could call it Jonestown.
No, that would be bad branding.
How about MD Jonestown?
Bad branding. No, don't name it after anybody. Just because it always ends up
MD, like medical doctor.
Do
so you're an MD, and you made this
place these days in this day. Hold on, I'm getting a little sidetracked, but I'm gonna.
Okay.
I just bring this.
Do it.
It's just a bad idea to name a place after a person. To think about it, I mean, there isn't a single person or name that's on that has like a city that has a name that's named after a person, it's always controversial now. It's like, oh, like even Washington, it's like, oh, we have a place named after Washington, and
That's
he
true.
had slaves, and like it's just like there.
So it should not have a name.
No, well, just why do you have to name it after a
They
dude?
Town. How about They Town?
You know, just name it after like if it's I don't know
They Town.
Where we talk like if I don't know. Anyways, so the idea, right?
Theyville.
You get some cheap
Theyville.
land in a cool like right over there, like maybe like on a lake. You buy like a whole bunch of property on a lake, and then you just kind of develop that, and it's all
You're talking my gravy, dude. This is my life dream you're speaking
kind of
about
a
right now, so
DOA.
it's
Well,
okay.
let's do it. I mean, see, that's more realistic. The idea of like, oh, a whole like tropical island and stuff like that.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems
Okay.
That seems,
We're gonna
it
buy.
seems really cool. But
We're buying
like,
a piece of
are you gonna
land
go live
on a
there,
lake,
really?
and we're gonna start cultivating shrubs that are edible, and we're gonna call it They Town DAO. They DAO. Theyville DAO. Theyville DAO. Okay, we're not gonna
Hey,
call it
yeah.
that. It's okay. But I'm
Them,
saying that
them,
publicly, so
they.
I'm throwing people off of our ideas so they don't copy us.
Okay, good.
I'm polluting the water with
Well, see,
bad
this
ideas.
is how like I would imagine like future developments, you know, kind of being because it's
Yeah,
like if
totally.
you're more invested into the community, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, that's like
like
Praxis. That project Praxis is wants to do this, where they want to build a DAO city, and
Mhm.
they're first building it online and through Discord and stuff, and then they're going to
Yeah.
try to find a place where they can actually build.
Yeah, see, that's smart. Yeah, because that's like building a community online, and then you're basically
And then finding
going,
physical space.
oh yeah, dude, it is. It's just like Jonestown. It's like a cool cult. It's really cool. We're gonna have.
It's like a cult. It's really cool. Okay.
Yeah. But our Kool-Aid
that'll be
is
clipped
like
and
cool,
used in a
trippy
court case
Kool-Aid.
in the
We
future.
like our Kool-Aid that we make people drink is like ayahuasca or some shit. You know, it's like we're gonna have people like tripping balls. It's gonna be a
like
totally different
everyone
Jonestown.
everyone microdoses mushrooms before they go to work in Jonestown. I mean, in
This is-
Theyville. Sorry, Theyville. My bad.
Oh, this place sounds like
Okay.
it's gonna be just like a weird fucking shithole.
Well,
But, you know,
if this show
it'll
is
be
any,
a DAO.
if this
It'll be
show is any
cool.
sign, it's gonna be successful.
But for reals, on serious notes, it does
On a-
sound like that. That's a cool idea. I like that idea.
On a
'Cause-
serious note, FTX is going to be rolling out a game. Well, they put together a gaming unit.
Who?
A unit.
Oh,
FTX. Yes, they put together a gaming unit called FTX Gaming. And it looks like they're going to be launching gaming tokens, offering NFT support, and they're hiring software engineers for this right now. So it sounds like they are going in pretty hard on gaming as potentially part of their future offerings here. And it looks like
That's interesting.
we can provide all the white label for the largest gaming companies in the world. So it looks like they might be trying to create a turnkey solution for gaming companies to integrate NFTs and stuff. So that is actually very smart. Building out the infrastructure for gaming. It's like the Steam, right? Building out the Steam or the, whatever of crypto gaming.
Yeah, connecting. Basically, you're helping,
and they got money.
The developers connect, their games up with.
Wait until Binance announces the same
Web3,
exact thing soon. I'm sure Binance will announce they're starting a gaming unit tomorrow.
Probably, dude. I mean, Binance is just everything. So
they are everything.
They are. Well, and they'll try to use, especially because they'll definitely try to do it and use BNB and their smart contracts and everything. And so there's a lot.
All the blockchains that are into NFTs are going to want to be with gaming.
Yeah, this is a stupid question, but does FTX have their own token?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. When we
FTX?
were, we've traded that with the bots before.
Okay, cool.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, it didn't go very well.
I always remember being really mad at
I
those
mean,
results.
I don't really trade it. It's not in my like top 10 or 20 radar, like, obviously, because I don't even know what the hell it is. So,
But they got a lot of money, that's for sure. They're just tossing at everything. They're like, oh yeah, Formula One racing car,
oh yeah,
sure, we'll get one of those, a couple
oh yeah.
commercials.
You know,
Oh,
dude,
$2 billion venture fund for
oh,
Web3 apps. Yeah, cool.
crypto ads are everywhere too. Yeah, FTX is everywhere. And then I was watching drone racing over the
Yeah,
weekend.
that's cool
That was
too.
on like NBC.
When I get a little more time and money, I want to get one of those
Yeah.
little drones and start
Yeah,
flying
go
that
drone.
around.
Yeah, so
Pretty
like, yeah,
fun.
and there's all like, there's just like crypto ads.
I bet, like banners, crypto banners,
Oh,
and
dude, they
stuff
all
at
had it
the
on their
race.
shirt.
Yeah,
They had like all over.
they
It
go
was in
hand in
Vegas,
hand.
so it was just like, man,
Oh, and it's in Vegas. That's fun. Dang, that
yeah,
sounds
it was
fun.
cool. It's cool.
That's cool. That is
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, there's a lot of fun new things happening with technology. It's definitely enabling all kinds of fun new stuff.
Fun things.
Fun things. Here's a funny thing. Okay, so we all know there's, the this isn't a politics show, but we know everybody knows about the stuff going up in Canada with the truckers, and the Canadian government is trying to find ways to tighten or just put the pressure on the protesters and stuff to move along. So they're trying to freeze bank accounts and things like that, and also crypto assets. And this wallet called Nunchuck, never heard of it, but I guess it's a wallet. And they were the Ontario Superior Court of Justice sent them what's called a Mariva injunction, ordering them to freeze and disclose information about assets involved in this trucker thing. And it's funny because they're a non-custodial wallet, so their response to the court is pretty funny, and it just shows how these governments and courts, they think that this is just like works like a normal bank or something. They don't understand even what they're dealing with. And so they said, "Dear Ontario Superior Court of Justice, Nunchuck is a self-custodial collaborative multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. We are a software provider, not a custodial financial intermediary. Our software is free to use, allows people to eliminate single points of failure, store Bitcoin in the safest way possible while preserving privacy. We do not collect any user identification information beyond email addresses, and we do not hold any keys. Therefore, we cannot freeze user assets. We cannot prevent them from being moved. We do not have knowledge of the existence, nature, value, and location of our users' assets. This is by design. Please look up how self-custody and private keys work. When the Canadian dollar becomes worthless, we will be here to serve you too. Sincerely, the Nunchuck team."
They had the salt at the end,
salt
didn't
at
they?
the end, the
Oh,
wound,
the
salt into the
sting,
wound.
the sting.
I
was
just thought
good.
that was kind of hilarious. And
Wow. Yeah, that's good. I bet you that's huge for them. I mean, people
Yeah.
are going to be flocking to that wallet.
Oh,
Like,
well,
'cause
and look at how many retweets this has. 7,000 retweets, 24,000 likes. I mean, yeah, this no-name wallet is all has probably thousands and thousands of new customers.
Yeah, I'll check them out. That's
I'll
cool.
check 'em out. Yeah, well, see,
Well,
this is what is so cool about crypto too, if you do it right. If you understand the difference between the different types of wallets, crypto becomes a way for groups to fund whatever they want with no interference whatsoever. And it's more of it's kind of a natural process where the money goes wherever you just want it to go. And there's no one to tell you you can or cannot spend your money however you want to. And so it is there are ways to circumvent the traditional monetary system and the control that the banks and the governments have on just being able to, freeze your assets if they want. So and again, it's funny, and it just shows that there's a lack of understanding on the part of probably most government agencies about how crypto technology just works.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because it's like, see, Canada now has a lot of, I think this gives Canada, right, a lot of ammo to come up with reasons on why to increase the regulations like the US has. Because in the US, you can't really have these kind of well, in the US, it's just, you have to KYC, for example,
Yeah.
right? You have to do more than just provide your email address. You have to provide your.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, like MetaMask.
That's true.
Like I've,
That's true. Those
no,
are
I
just
mean, you
just like a
can
wallet.
you can use Nunchuck. Like you could go use Nunchuck. I mean, any
Mhm.
wallet, just like or
Well,
a Ledger, like those Ledger wallets.
Yeah.
Nobody's got the key for that.
No
No one's got the
touching
key for
those.
that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, and even if someone found it, they'd have to have your key.
See, that's why it's impossible to really regulate it. I mean, because it's
I
just
mean,
like, oh man, I'm just gonna go always change my VPN to whatever. It's like,
yeah,
Cha-
you would
you
have
know-
to block the wallet like websites. The internet service
Yeah.
providers would have to block the wallet websites, I think, because it's the same thing now. Like
Mhm.
Binance and all those can block you from using their service, I guess, by IP and try to block you if they find out you're using their services if you're like in the US. But
Mhm.
a wallet can't even do that, really. These
Right.
wallet service providers, I mean, just like, if we developed our own
'Cause-
wallet creator, we're creating wallets on the blockchain, but we are not in charge of those wallets after that.
Right.
We've just made
Yeah.
the wallet for the user and given them the
It's just the
key. And
infrastructure.
now we're off hand. We're
Yeah.
off now.
So is that going to
So-
be the next thing? Are you going to build a wallet creator?
That is going to be one of the tutorials. Yes. That is going to be one of the
Sweet.
tutorials. Yes. But yeah, so I just think it's interesting. That's all. It's interesting. Okay.
Very good.
What else? I think that's really kind of it for right now for the news. I think that kind of tidies it up. I think we should go to the charts.
Let's go to the charts.
I'm getting raspy in my throat and I'm
let's check
getting
it out.
worked up about
Let's check it out.
cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, don't worry. We're going to build like a cool little crypto mecha DAO
This is the
thing.
problem. I want to build everything. I want to just
Well, we
build
will.
everything in
We will,
Web3.
yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, I want to build one of those. Oh, and I want to build one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to build one of those. But hey, I'll drop everything for Theyville. Okay, let's look at the chat.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out. All right. All right. Well, let's go back and see what happened over the weekend. So I mean, I over the weekend, right? So what are we on? We're on 4 hour here. It was when did weekend start? After the 18th, right? Yeah, I think that's
Yes.
right. The 18th was Friday, if I have my dates correct. So here, if you
yes.
see on Bitcoin, we had it had this drop. It was great. I had some nice profits on this short here. It bottomed out here, and I was like, hey, this could actually be a great spot for it to bounce, right? Come back up. Maybe not take this, but at least maybe get some profits up here or something to the next resistance. But it didn't. It just kept coming down to these lower levels. So now here we are this morning, and I thought, over the weekend I was kind of like, this is going to be kind of like this could be really bad as far as prices go. However, I mean, it doesn't. We have on a momentum wave here on the 4 hour. We have a green wave, VWAP pointing up, money flow pointing up. So we could be bottoming out here and starting to trend up. We do have a green vector candle coming up, really overtaking this red one, which is pretty positive for those longs. And it is at some important resistance, right? It's at these old was this just from the 1st of February, right? So I mean, we could just be coming up and then come right back down some more. That could be the case. However, let's look for reasons on why the market maker would even want to do that. Right?
Why? What?
right? Oh, this is really bright. Sorry, it's white and it's bright, but that's
No,
so
no,
good.
that's hey, it looks good on here.
So yeah, so if we look down here, right, we had a bunch of longs kind of pop up right here. This was yesterday, I believe. Yeah. And as it came up here, yeah, it took out these short liquidations, right? These are pretty heavy, 100 million, 102, 88. So quite a bit of short liquidations, got those. And it built these longs liquidations down here and went and took those, okay? And that basically happened overnight last night. And I'm thinking like right there's liquidations down here, right? Down here at 36,000. So it definitely could come down and get these. However, if you look up here, I mean, these short liquidations, guys, 130, 160, 130, 130, 44. Like it's just like it is a lot of like short liquidations up here. So I would anticipate them come up, maybe today, tomorrow, and take these liquidations out. I don't know if they'll come up and get these guys yet. I don't know. I mean, look at these. I mean, so there's just, and if we go down here, yeah, we got like 9 billion in liquidations that we have in shorts. So the short liquidations way outweigh the long liquidations. So the market makers, I see them having more of a reason to bring the price up to get these liquidation points, right? And then as they do that, they'll build a bunch of long liquidations that they'll probably want to come back down to. So we'll see how this works out. Because if you think about it, every level they go down, they're just building a bunch of liquidations. Like even right here, if you see, it happened on like Friday. There's a bunch of longs placed here, and I think that's I didn't long Bitcoin, but I longed a whole bunch of altcoins there. Didn't work out, did it? No, because everyone had the same idea as me. There's lots of key levels all these are hitting. We were at a lot of them still like in an uptrend as far as like EMAs go and everything, but nope, just wanted to swallow all of these long liquidations here. I didn't get liquidated or anything, but that's a lot of people did, that's for sure. And then so here we are today, where I do see, right, we do see long liquidations down here, but is it really that much to really convince them to come back down here versus these guys up here? See, I could see the price coming up, at least challenging resistance here, and maybe it starts turning around. I don't know, but I mean, they could always bring the price down. That's always a possibility. Let's go look at some levels that it could be going down to if it does. So this is, I mean, I kind of just see like a giant range here, right? I mean, it's not, you can kind of see it here. If you take these guys and this bottom, right? So we can be constantly going up and down in between, what is it, 30,000 and then 50,000, right? I could see us being in this range for a while. I mean, if you look at the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA crossed up, crossed down, we could just see a zigzag of the EMA and the 200, which would just indicate a giant range that we're in. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. There's not like clear signs that, it's going to be a raging market or anything. Like I was saying, I was longing up here, looking to see if like we get this bounce. and then just scalping a little bit. I wasn't even anticipating it to really break the last high, but at least come up and challenge the 50 EMA, right? Something like that. But we haven't really seen a challenge to the 50 EMA on Bitcoin here in the 4-hour yet. So I would like to see that, right? I'd like to see a nice clean challenge to the 50 EMA, maybe the 200, and then we could start coming back down again, right? So something like this, something like that. So we could be stuck in this range for a minute, for a while. I mean,
yeah, I mean, we're in that red wave and we've got still the red money flow. It could kind of linger,
Right.
trying to just figure out what it's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see. I wouldn't expect it to go too much lower. I mean,
Yeah.
only because
That's why I think
been
it might just
exhausted,
range.
right?
Yeah.
The downward momentum has really just bottomed out, kind of, right? That's what it kind of looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get these fake outs on the 4-hour, it's rare.
And in the middle of the wave, back and forth like that, and it still stays the same color of the wave, red like that.
Right. Yeah. So it's due to really have like a nice solid positive momentum, right?
Yeah.
Of bringing the price up and challenge some key resistant levels. So
Buy.
Yeah, buy.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice, but I'm still thinking it's gonna be coming up because I mean, it's down pretty low. I mean, it could totally go down lower, but again, it's like there's so much more reasons up here. All these liquidation points that are up here, all these shorts, right?
Go to the
And
daily
remember-
real quick. Go over to the daily.
So yeah, I was checking out
I
the
want to
daily
see
today.
like on a bigger scale too. Like, do you think we're in a bear
Oh,
kind
this
of
is so
cycle,
different.
or are we in a
Mm,
it's going? I'll see. We've
That's
been on
right.
a bearish plunge for like a week at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a bearish for yeah, sure. I don't like to use bearish and
Yeah,
bullish,
not
but
cycle. I mean, but like, are we just in a bearish momentum wave? Is
yeah,
essentially
I mean,
what I meant on a bigger
because
time.
essentially, like ever since January 11th, right, we crossed the 50 crossed underneath the 200 EMA, and that's a pretty significant signal of a downward trending market. Right, we had it back here, but it quickly rebounded and popped up. So this is what we really want to see is like, okay, we could be ranging in this whole area just like we are right now, right? Like I was saying, I think we could just be in this range, right? Because we were in this range over here all the way from May to July and late July. So mid-May, late July. So quite a few months. And so I could see us kind of in the same boat for a while. I don't see any reason why. Yeah, I don't see like crazy, like even on the daily here, we have VWAPs pointing up again. The wave is starting to turn up, and
could be a bottom then. It's showing bottoming out on the daily potentially, or at least soon. Because Friday we saw a wave very similar to this on Friday, and then it kind of did bottom out, but it just kind of like ranged. It went down a little bit more, of course, but and I think that you could have the same thing here.
Last week when this little dip happened and we saw this, we're like, oh hey, this could be, this wave was all coming up and everything, and then what was it? That must have been Wednesday. That's when it started to turn. That's when it was like, oh no, we're still in that downward momentum, because it's like, even though that we see the wave starting to bottom out, it doesn't mean it's over, right? It just means that momentum's starting to die off. Doesn't mean it's done. Oh, you want to see the bad stuff.
I want to go higher. Yeah, this is what I really this is actually really interesting. This is where this is actually very interesting.
Very interesting. So
whoa,
if you look at the
VWAP
weekly,
is dead, flopping and groping.
Yeah.
That VWAP.
And we had a red momentum dot that popped up.
Could be fake, but yeah.
Oh no, sorry, last week.
This kind of looks like our 4 hour where you got a really
yeah.
deep bearish dive, and then you're at this point of where it's trying to figure out what it's doing, and which kind of results in a range a lot of the time, which we've seen.
Yeah,
It's kind of been
and
in
you
a
know,
range
like,
for a couple of weeks.
like, you know,
Almost.
yeah, I
Or
mean,
maybe it's going to be in a range now.
we've just been kind of stuck in this price zone for a while. And like, if you
Money
look back
waves
here,
coming down, which
back
is
in that
not
May,
great.
July time, same thing, right?
Yeah.
So it could really kind of just hang out here. I mean, we had this
Mhm.
vector
Oh
that
my
got
gosh, yeah, it looks a
swallowed up,
lot like
comes
last
down.
year, actually.
We could totally, I mean, see, we could start picking it up, but at the same time,
Looks very similar to last year. That's funny. Weird.
I mean, if you look at this formation, it's
Yeah,
maybe a little
it's
bit
like
similar to what can happen here.
What a weird, yeah.
I don't know, but we
Yeah.
could be stuck in a range for a minute. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because like the VWAP over here, it's just flatlined on the 50. It's just it is a
It's
dead
flopping and
fish.
groping. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, like, you know, I very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's check out some other tokens, huh?
Yeah. Show us some other stuff before
Let's
everyone
check out
falls
other
asleep.
Stuff. What do we want to see? What do we want to see? It was some ETH, huh?
Yeah, that's all everybody wants
Some
to see
ETH
all the time.
Ethereum. All right, here. Major resistance going on here, right? It was resistance, it was support. Is this support? We'll find out. But I mean, look, we got a nice rebound here. It's just climbing.
Mm-hmm.
So you like to see that kind of rebound from a red vector candle, and then that could be a nice momentum. Because see, like over the weekend, I was in this choppy stuff, and I'm like, you know, it's wait till Monday, because when the markets open up, that's when the money will start flowing in, kind of thing. Right now, it's really just because a lot of people, right, when you see these vector candles, you guys got to remember that's the market maker. The people who are providing liquidity to the market, that's when they're taking their longs. These are longs, all right? All the retail traders are the ones shorting this, right? They're the ones going short. If they're not taking their profits and those shorts think, oh, it's going to go down more, then they're the ones that will be liquidated as the market maker takes profit on their longs. So, like again, there's just more reason why I would see the market start turning around a bit. It might not be much, right? It could just come up here, challenge the 50 EMA, 200 EMA, start coming back down again. But you know, the market maker is going to want to make a profit at some point on these longs they took. So just always be cautious of these vector candles, right? So again,
yeah, he's looking. Oh, okay.
Yeah, here you like to see this as far as like, you know, low. So this is the daily on ETH. And if we could do a higher low here and then bring this back up, that would be pretty nice. I mean, yeah, because it'd be interesting. Because it could come back up and want to challenge the 50 EMA up here, like, right? Because whenever it moves away from the 50 EMA, it always comes back to it. You know, it either hangs out in a zone, waits for the 50 EMA to come down to it, or it aggressively goes to 50 EMA. Now, you do want to see it aggressively going to the 50 EMA, as far as like wanting to see like a momentum, right? Like a momentum shift. Otherwise, if it just kind of stays in the zone and you see 58 May come to it, it could still be continuing the trend that it's on, right? It just doesn't. It doesn't have the momentum to really bring the price up or down if it's inverted, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting on the daily here. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. I mean, we do have on the daily VWAP pointing up, money flow pointing up. So looking a little more bullish, right?
Yeah, at least something, even if
Yeah.
it's still a range. At least
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
some
right.
kind of
It's
little some kind of thing. Pop.
yeah. So
Papa John's.
yeah. I mean, let's and then
Put
there's
on your
other
Papa John long pants.
and there's other tokens
Papa
that
John long
just
johns.
crashed a lot more, like AVAX here. This is the one that's destroying me right now. So if I had, I mean, because AVAX here, right, it's breaking these levels, these support, these resistance. And so it's kind of giving me signs that, it's, and here was the trend line. See, I was going to be like, okay, this is actually a pretty good, decent spot to long from because it could be just hitting the trend line, keeping this resistance here, and then bouncing up. This is what I was like, oh, this is kind of what I'm planning on it to do here, right? And and the price continues higher highs, higher lows, right? It didn't. It broke that pattern right here, right? In this red death right here comes down, breaks the resistance. It's been really stuck in. So what I'm looking to see is look at all these fake outs, right? Remember, the fake outs on the 4 hour is pretty darn rare when and it happens usually on the weekend, right? That really what I don't recommend trading on the weekend necessarily because you get this kind of stuff, right? Where it's like you get a huge momentum up and then a huge momentum down, and if you like trading in those ranges, maybe the weekend would be awesome for you. But yeah, it's just kind of like this giant wick down. Maybe that was it though, right? That could have been a low. It just came down, picked up a bunch of orders, maybe doing a bunch of liquidations. I don't have liquidation maps for Avalanche, but this was one that really just kind of went lower, right? Most of the tokens, like when it got down to this level, it stayed ish there. Maybe it went down a little bit like here, but it mostly stayed in that range. Whereas Avalanche did kind of went down to a whole new other range level, and it's trying, right? You kind of want to see it. You see it maybe trying to get it back up in this higher range. Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm going to keep an eye on Avalanche and hope, as far as I'm saying, hopefully is for the sake of my positions right now. So we get some upward momentum here. I mean, it's just so choppy. It is just so choppy. It is not looking too good, honestly. But I mean, we got VWAP pointing up, money flow kind of starting to curve up. But what you really want to see, right? I mean, look.
What's really funny? Oh man. Well, I'll show it in a second. But Kingfisher just posted a tweet of they just said BTC, and it's a GIF of an onion getting chopped up really fast. So, right as you're talking about it being choppy.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It is, man. It's constantly like my signals are all over the place right now. But that tends to happen over the weekend. So it's not too it's not normal, right? It's not like I'm nothing, But yeah, Monday, right? US market opens. See, this was last night. So when the Sydney market opened, right? I believe that's really kind of the first one that opens. They opened up and it popped up, right? It was really just when it kind of closed. The EU closed there, and then it started to dump. then now US comes in and starts taking in those orders here. So it's I don't know. I like I said, I see more reasons why it would go up, but they could always bring it down. All right.
Might go up, might go down. Well, I think
Might go down.
that's probably a good weather session.
All right, cool.
I think you've shown some superb ability to forecast, and I like your models. I think they're really good. And ooh, nice drawing.
Yeah, I mean, as far as patterns go, like you kind of, I mean, this is, you don't like to see lower lows. You know, if you're bullish, if you want to see a bull market, you want to see higher lows, you know, and higher highs. So here we got a lower low from the last low. What does that mean? Meh. Probably what I think that means is that we'll see a lower high on AVAX. I guess this is AVAX. So what I'm talking here in AVAX, like that's what I would expect, but we'll see. Yeah, carry on. We're done. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Have a good week. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
You know what's else is interesting here? I'm just going to pop up my screen here. We've got just people checking out the Kingfisher Twitter stream, of course, which you should go sign up for Kingfisher and use our affiliate code that we don't have. And this was interesting. This guy was saying, well, because Kingfisher said Bitcoin spot order book looking thick up there. So, you know, it's interesting because also retail trader or retail spot orders can, you know, also affect the price. It's not just futures, of course. And this guy was saying max leverage perpetual PVP is wild. Looks like spot wants to buy this drop, though. So, you know, it's always interesting to see the difference, too, between what are spot traders doing and what are futures traders doing. Because they're both working the market in slightly different ways. And there, of course, is our choppy onion.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Pretty
much. In a nutshell, that's choppy.
Okay, everybody. Well, it's been another great morning, and please go check out our everything. GM DeFi.xyz is now where you could pretty much find almost everything. And the Discord link, everything's there. So if you even the live show, the streaming time is there. Our the Matt doesn't know this, but the live show icon lights up while we are live, even on air.
Cool.
And so go check it out. It's full of gimmicks. And look, Matt's on it right now, actually, right now.
How do you know? Oh,
because
yeah,
I'm spying on your screen. There it is, the GM website. And this is the desktop view. It's changed since Matt last saw it, so he's confused. But you can see that there's a lot of good stuff going on there, and you can find our Discord. So everybody go to gmdefi.xyz and give this video a likey and a subscribey. And we'll see you tomorrow at the same time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Like, subscribe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Clapping, italic, impress. Happy and clapping, italic is impressed. Vitalik clapping, 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 clapping. Vitalik clapping, 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 clapping.